Welcome to this channel. I'm so glad you joined me today, and this is a new series. It's called Coaching Through Losses. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. And today we're just going to have a brief introduction to what it is. And to start with, I just want to say this. Some of you, maybe you came here and you're saying, I'm just curious. That's okay. Be curious. I'm glad you're here. And some of you, though, maybe the word loss came into your mind and you're thinking, I need some help with that. Well, I encourage you to stick with it. There's only going to be about 6 sessions, and I think it'll be helpful to you. Number one, let's talk about just what do I mean coaching through losses. You've all probably heard of the phrase grief counseling. Well, that's not what this is. There'll be some knowledge, you'll gain some knowledge about grief counseling, the grief process, but this isn't counseling. Coaching is different. Counseling is more therapeutical. It kind of gets into your past and maybe some feelings and kind of puts the pieces together that way. And there's therapists well-trained to help you with that. And if you're getting counseling now, I encourage you to continue. In fact, this is not intended to replace anything you're doing. It really is a supplement, and it's something that I hope is encouraging to you. My goal on this channel is to provide light and hope to people through music, encouragement, and coaching. So let's take a look at what coaching is. Coaching moves us from one place to the next. If you're a young child learning basketball, you would want to grab a basketball and learn how to play basketball, and then get better at basketball. Well, this isn't basketball coaching. This is coaching through losses. And so the first thing we're going to do is identify a loss in session 2. And if you're like most of us, and myself included, there's plenty of losses to choose from. And some of them are still carrying that sting, that emptiness, that weight. Well, maybe that's the one you'll want to focus on. So you start with your loss, and then my goal as I coach you is to help you move to a place that I'm going to call a loss adjustment. I'll explain that later. That's my goal. And to do that, you're going to need some knowledge. You're going to need some knowledge about yourself, about the grief process, and you're going to need some knowledge about just what does it mean to have a loss? What does that even mean? And how does it affect everything? Knowledge is important. It's interesting because as we gain knowledge, it kind of takes the power away of the sting. Or maybe I should say it dilutes the sting of what we're dealing with. The more knowledge you find out about yourself and loss and that whole grieving process, maybe it'll dilute some of the power that it has on you right now. We'll see. The next thing you're going to be doing through these sessions is you're going to gain some what I'll call skills, techniques, tools in a toolbox. You need that. If I'm going to be an effective coach, I need to give you something, some resources, some ideas that might be helpful to you. Again, if I was coaching a child, they would learn about the game and about the sport and about techniques, but then I would want to give them some specific skills, things that they can work on to become better. And their goal, of course, is to be on a team or to win a basketball game or whatever their goal is. Well, I know our goal in this is to go from a loss to a loss adjustment. So you can live just that life that you're looking for, in yourself, and not be weighted down by whatever the loss is in your life. And there are plenty of losses to choose from. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. You'll hear it again. And I want to let you know this. Like any coach, the coach needs to know a little bit about what they're coaching. I want to tell you, I do. I'm not going to claim to be some expert, elite expert in this area. There's plenty of those. There's books and there's libraries of people, that have counselors and speakers and things. But I can tell you right now, I have plenty of experience with loss. I've studied grief and so forth a lot, but I have my own personal experience. I'll refer to that quite often, so you'll hear more about it in the other sessions. Listen, you guys, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you joined me. If it's something you think is going to help you, then come back for session 2. Press like, on that button too, because then it tells me, wow, this is important to people. God bless you, and we'll see you again, I hope. Bye-bye.